Miss Moore, were you able to find the restroom okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to be conducting a very brief clinical interview that is more structured than usual.
Okay.
The questions are very precise about your psychological functioning or problems, and they generally require a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to be talking about depression and major depressive episodes that you
Okay.
may have had in the past 2 weeks and in the past before
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, were you ever depressed or down most of the day, nearly every day, for at least 2 weeks?
Sure. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And in the past 2 weeks, have you been depressed or down most of the day, nearly every day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you ever much less interested in most things or much less able to enjoy the things that you used to enjoy most of the time for 2 weeks,
Yes.
for at least 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And in the past 2 weeks, were you much less interested in most things or much less able to enjoy the things you used to enjoy most of the time?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to be now talking about the past 2 weeks, and I'm going to ask you some how you were feeling, some symptoms, and then I'm going to also talk about uh, before the past 2 weeks in the past.
Okay.
So in the past 2 weeks, was your appetite decreased or increased nearly every day? And did your weight decrease or increase without trying intentionally at least 8 pounds? That's increase
Mm-hmm.
or decrease at least 8 pounds?
Decrease. Yes. Yeah. I've
Okay.
lost about 8 pounds.
And has that happened to you in the past
Oh.
outside of the two
Yeah.
weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about trouble sleeping nearly every night? Difficulty falling asleep,
Yes. Yes.
waking up in the middle of the
Yep.
night, early morning waking, or sleeping a lot excessively?
No, just waking up, not sleeping.
Waking up, not sleeping. And that's in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And how about outside of the past two
Mm-hmm.
weeks in the past?
In the past too.
Did you ever talk or move more slowly than normal? Or were you fidgety, restless, or having trouble sitting still almost every day in the past 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about outside the past two
Yes.
weeks?
That's happened before too.
Did you feel tired or without energy almost every day in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't have much energy.
How about outside of the past 2 weeks in the past?
Mm-hmm. It's happened in the past too.
Did you feel worthless or guilty almost every day in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
How about outside of the past 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You felt that way also, worthless and guilty almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some examples about how you were feeling, the worthlessness and the guilty feelings that you were feeling.
Well, just not. When I think about my marriage, just couldn't have been a good wife, I guess. So I wouldn't be divorced.
So you blame yourself for the divorce?
I blame some of it. Yeah.
In the past 2 weeks, have you had difficulty concentrating and making decisions almost every day?
Yeah. I would say so.
Has that happened to you outside the 2 weeks in the
Yeah.
past?
Yeah.
Did you repeatedly consider hurting yourself, feel suicidal, or wish that you were dead? Did you attempt suicide or plan a suicide in the past 2 weeks?
No.
How about in the past
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah.
You told me
Yeah. In the
about
past.
the recent attempt in March and
Mm-hmm.
before that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you had these feelings or symptoms, did they cause significant problems at home, at work, socially with others, at school, or in some other important way in the past 2 weeks?
No, not in the past 2
Or
weeks,
you said
but in the
no.
past.
How about in the past?
Yeah.
In between two of these episodes of depression that you told me about,
Mhm.
did you ever have any periods of time for at least 2 months where you were without any feelings of depression, significant depression, or any significant loss of interest?
Yeah. I've had my good months. Good time.
And how many episodes of depression did you have in your lifetime, do you think?
Wow. Right around the time we started the divorce, and then I was really down then, and then when my daughter left to go away to school, and then around my anniversary, about 3 times.
So you told me one is the divorce,
Mhm.
the second one is when your daughter went off to school,
Yeah.
and the third is the
This most
anniversary.
recent time. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When your anniversary comes, you get really
Mhm.
down.
Mhm.
3 times. Okay. So now I'm done with asking the questions about your depression feelings that you were
Mhm.
having, and we're going to talk about manic and hypomanic
Okay.
episodes or periods. Do you know what manic and hypomanic means?
I think so.
I'm just going to give you a little insight into it in terms of it's when you're feeling up or high or hyper or so full of
Mhm.
energy
Mhm.
or full of yourself that you get into trouble
Okay.
because it's hard to stop yourself from doing things.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know if you have a family history of manic depressive illness or bipolar in your family?
No. Mm-mm.
For any member who had mood swings or were treated with medication like lithium
No.
or Lamictal or anything like
Mm-mm. Not
that?
not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty close with my family. I don't remember anyone having any manic.
No one taking medication for
No,
that.
for manic behavior. No.
Okay. Have you ever had a period of time when you were feeling up or high or
Mhm.
hyper or so full of energy or full of yourself that you got into trouble? Or that other people thought you were not your usual self?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Are you currently feeling that way?
No.
Up, high, or hyper?
Mm-mm.
Full of energy?
No.
Have you ever been persistently irritable for several days so that you had arguments or verbal or physical fights or shouted at people outside your family?
Mm-mm. No.
Have you or others noticed that you've been more irritable or overreacted to things compared to other people, even in situations that you felt were justified?
No. Mm-mm.
Are you currently feeling persistently irritable?
No.
Thank you, Miss Moore. Now I'm going to ask you about unusual experiences that some people may have.
Okay.
Have you ever believed that people were spying on you, or that someone was plotting against you or trying to hurt you?
No.
Have you ever believed that someone was reading your mind or could hear your thoughts, or that you could actually read someone else's mind or hear what another person was thinking?
No. Mm-mm.
Have you ever believed that someone or some forces outside of yourself put thoughts in your mind that were not your own, or made you act in a way that was not your usual self?
No.
Have you ever felt that you were possessed?
No.
Have you ever believed that you were being sent special messages through the TV, radio, internet, newspapers, books, or magazines, or that a person you did not personally know was particularly interested in you?
No.
Have your relatives or friends ever considered any of your beliefs odd?
No.
Have you ever heard things that other people couldn't hear, such as voices?
No. Sorry about that.
Have you ever had visions when you were awake? Or have you ever seen things other people couldn't see?
No.
So that completes the this assessment for this set of questions.
Okay.